In a move that has sent shockwaves through West Africa's fragile political landscape, Nigerian President Bola Tinubu made an unannounced appearance at the Alliance of Sahel States (AES) summit today, rubbing shoulders with the military leaders of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, the very regimes he has publicly condemned for their coups d'état. The summit, held in the fortified halls of Niamey's presidential palace under heavy security, was meant to solidify the AES's confederation amid growing isolation from traditional allies. But Tinubu's presence has ignited a firestorm of speculation, anxiety, and outright dread about what this could mean for the region's already precarious stability. Tinubu, who has positioned himself as a staunch defender of democracy in West Africa during his tenure as ECOWAS chairman, has repeatedly denounced the military takeovers in these Sahelian nations. Just last year, he spearheaded calls for sanctions and even hinted at military intervention to restore constitutional order. "Coups are a cancer on our continent," he declared in a fiery speech at the African Union in 2024, words that now hang like a dark cloud over his decision to attend. So why was he here? How did the AES leaders, Assimi Goïta of Mali, Abdourahmane Tiani of Niger, and Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, allow the man who once branded them as usurpers into their inner sanctum? Whispers from diplomatic circles suggest back-channel negotiations, perhaps brokered by shadowy intermediaries, but no one is confirming anything. The opacity is fueling paranoia. Is this a trap, a betrayal, or the prelude to something far more sinister? Attendees and observers alike were visibly stunned as Tinubu strode into the summit chamber, flanked by a small Nigerian delegation. Eyewitness accounts describe a tense atmosphere, handshakes that lingered too long, smiles that didn't reach the eyes, and side conversations hushed to near silence when journalists approached. It was like watching a predator enter a den of wolves, one anonymous Burkinabe official told this reporter, their voice laced with unease. Everyone knows Tinubu's history. He's not here for tea and pleasantries. What's his game? Indeed, the Nigerian leader's anti-coup rhetoric has made him a polarizing figure, earning him enemies in the Sahel while bolstering his image among Western powers. His attendance raises chilling questions. Has he come to negotiate a fragile peace, or to sow discord from within? The AES itself, born from the ashes of post-coup defiance, has been a beacon of resistance against external interference. Formed in 2023 as a mutual defense pact, it evolved into a full confederation earlier this year, with shared military commands, economic policies, and even talks of a common currency to rival the CFA franc. But cracks are showing. Internal reports hint at resource strains, border skirmishes, and growing disillusionment among the populace amid economic hardships. Tinubu's entry into this mix could be the spark that ignites it all. Analysts are buzzing with doomsday scenarios. Could this be an attempt to lure the AES back into the ECOWAS fold, diluting their sovereignty? Or worse, is Nigeria, Africa's most populous nation, plotting a covert operation to destabilize the alliance from the inside? Tinubu's Nigeria has the military might and economic leverage, warns Dr. Amina Kouiate, a political scientist at the University of Bamako. If he's here, it's not altruism. The Sahel is a powder keg. Food shortages, jihadist insurgencies, climate disasters. One wrong move, and it explodes. The summit's agenda, shrouded in secrecy, reportedly included discussions on counterterrorism, trade routes, and foreign relations. Topics where Nigeria's influence looms large. Yet, no public statements have emerged on Tinubu's role. Did he address the leaders directly? Were concessions made? Rumors swirl of closed-door meetings extending late into the night, with reports of raised voices and abrupt adjournments. Social media is ablaze with conspiracy theories. Some claim Tinubu is acting as a proxy for Western interests, aiming to undermine Russia's growing foothold in the region through Wagner Group successors. Others fear a grand bargain where AES leaders trade autonomy for Nigerian aid, potentially fracturing the alliance's unity. What if this is the beginning of the end? Posted one prominent Nigerian activist on X, their tweet garnering thousands of anxious replies. Tinubu smiles while plotting our downfall. Who's protecting us now? As the summit wraps up without a joint communique, another red flag, the uncertainty is palpable. Will the AES emerge stronger, or splinter under the weight of this intrusion? Diplomats from neighboring countries are on edge, monitoring borders for any signs of escalation. Investors in mining and energy sectors, crucial to the Sahel's economy, are holding their breath, fearing volatility that could spike global uranium and gold prices. And for ordinary citizens in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, already weary from years of instability, Tinubu's shadow casts a long, ominous doubt. Is this a step toward reconciliation, or the harbinger of renewed conflict? The answers remain elusive, leaving the region teetering on the brink, hearts pounding in anticipation of what comes next. As the dust settles, or rather, refuses to, on this unprecedented gathering, the implications of President Tinubu's bold incursion into AES territory are rippling outward like aftershocks from a seismic fault line. Right now, in the sweltering heat of Niamey's secured perimeters, the air is thick with unspoken accusations and guarded glances. What does this mean for the fragile confederation that has defiantly charted its own path away from ECOWAS's grip? Tinubu's mere presence, a man who once rallied regional forces against these very leaders, feels like a Trojan horse wheeled into the heart of their fortress. Is he here to extend an olive branch laced with poison, or to gauge the alliance's vulnerabilities up close? The uncertainty is gnawing at every level, from jittery military aides whispering in corridors to civilians glued to their radios, hearts racing with every breaking update. Tension is at a fever pitch, a palpable undercurrent that could erupt at any moment. Sources close to the summit describe an atmosphere charged with electricity. Delegates from Mali pacing restlessly, Nigerian security details on high alert, and Burkinabe representatives exchanging furtive notes amid the formal proceedings. It's like a powder room with a lit fuse, confided a high-ranking AES advisor, speaking on condition of anonymity for fear of reprisal. Tinubu's smiles are disarming, but his eyes scan the room like a strategist plotting moves on a chessboard. Everyone's wondering, does he have intel on our defenses? Is this a prelude to sanctions relief, or a setup for something darker? The leaders themselves, Goita, Tiani, and Traore, project unity in their public poise, but body language experts point to subtle tells. Crossed arms during Tinubu's remarks, averted gazes when economic ties are broached. The strain is evident, amplified by the summit's high stakes, where discussions on joint anti-jihadist operations and resource sharing could either fortify the AES or expose rifts for exploitation. Delving deeper, Tinubu's appearance right now screams of calculated opportunism in a region already hemorrhaging from insecurity and isolation. Nigeria, with its vast oil wealth and military prowess, holds cards that could tip the balance. Access to ports, intelligence sharing, or even covert support against insurgents. But at what cost? Pundits are dissecting every angle. Could this be Tinubu's bid to reclaim influence lost when the AES bolted from ECOWAS, perhaps dangling promises of investment to lure them back? Or is it a veiled threat, a reminder that Nigeria's borders with Niger could become flashpoints if relations sour? The anxiety mounts with reports of unusual activity, increased Nigerian troop movements near shared frontiers, cryptic diplomatic cables flying between Abuja and Western capitals, and a surge in social media chatter from pro-democracy activists in the Sahel, decrying Tinubu as a puppet master. He's not just attending, he's infiltrating, tweeted a prominent Malian dissident, their post viral amid a storm of emojis depicting knives and question marks. Economists warn of market jitters, uranium futures spiking on fears of disrupted supplies, CFA franc volatility as currency talks hang in limbo. For the AES, this could mean a Hobson's choice. Embrace Tinubu's overtures and risk dilution of their hard-won autonomy, or rebuff him and face escalated isolation, potentially inviting foreign meddlers like Russia or China to deepen their entrenchments. Yet the dread doesn't stop at politics. It seeps into the human fabric of the Sahel. Families in Ouagadougou huddle around flickering screens, anxious about whether this summit heralds peace or plunges them deeper into hardship. In Bamako's markets, vendors murmur about rising food prices if trade routes falter. Niamey's streets, usually bustling, feel eerily subdued, with checkpoints multiplying as rumors of espionage swirl. What is Tinubu truly up to? Is he forging a secret pact that could realign West African power dynamics, or positioning Nigeria as the arbiter of the AES's fate? The questions pile up, unanswered, leaving a void filled with speculation and suspense. As night falls over the summit venue, the world watches, breath held, wondering if this is the calm before a storm that could reshape the continent, or shatter it irreparably. In a moment that crystallized the summit's raw undercurrents, Burkina Faso's Captain Ibrahim Traore took the podium late in the afternoon. delivering a speech that reverberated like a thunderclap through the assembled delegates. With unyielding fervor, Traore doubled down on his crusade against what he termed the insidious grip of neocolonialism, painting a vivid picture of foreign powers plundering Africa's resources while puppeteering its governments. "The time for subservience is over," he proclaimed, his voice echoing off the chamber walls, eyes locked on the room, including, pointedly, on President Tinubu. "We will not beg for crumbs from tables we built with our blood and sweat. Neocolonialism ends here, in the Sahel, today." But it was his stark declaration on nationalizing every mining site in Burkina Faso that sent a chill through the air, amplifying the already electric tension and leaving observers grappling with the potential fallout. Traore's rhetoric delved into the heart of Burkina Faso's mineral wealth: gold, zinc, manganese, long dominated by multinational corporations from Canada, Australia, and Europe. He accused these entities of modern-day slavery, extracting billions while leaving communities in poverty, poisoned water tables, and shattered landscapes. "Every mine, every pit, every ounce of our earth, they belong to the Burkinabe people," he asserted, outlining a radical blueprint for immediate state takeover. No exemptions, no phased transitions, total nationalization, with foreign operators given mere months to divest or face expulsion. He invoked historical grievances, the ghosts of French colonial rule, the strings attached to IMF loans, the shadowy deals that funneled profits offshore, framing this as not just policy, but a revolutionary imperative. "We are not negotiating our sovereignty," Traore thundered, pounding the lectern for emphasis. "We are reclaiming it." The speech, laced with references to Pan-African icons like Thomas Sankara, his ideological forebear, stirred murmurs of approval from Malian and Nigerian contingents, but the subtext was unmistakable. This was a direct challenge to the economic order that powers like Nigeria, with its own mining interests and foreign partnerships, have long upheld. The implications are dizzying, injecting fresh layers of anxiety into an already fraught summit. Right now, as delegates mill about in hurried sidebars, Traore's words hang like a guillotine blade over international investors. Burkina Faso's gold mines alone produce over 50 tons annually, fueling global markets and employing thousands. But under foreign control, they've been flashpoints for labor disputes, environmental scandals, and allegations of corruption. Nationalization could trigger a cascade: skyrocketing commodity prices as supply chains rupture, legal battles in international courts, and retaliatory sanctions from Western nations already wary of the AES's pivot toward Russia and China. "This isn't just Burkina Faso's fight," whispered a Malian diplomat during a break, glancing nervously at Tinubu's entourage. "If Traore pushes this through, it could inspire copycats across the AES. Mines in Niger's uranium fields, Mali's gold belts, all up for grabs. And with Tinubu watching, Nigeria's own extractive industries could feel the heat." Economists are already forecasting turmoil: stock dips in mining giants like Endeavour and IM Gold, potential flight of capital from the region, and a humanitarian ripple as jobs vanish overnight without smooth transitions. Yet the unease runs deeper, intertwining with the neo-colonial narrative Traore wove so masterfully. He lambasted puppet regimes, propped up by external forces, a not-so-veiled jab at ECOWAS and its backers, including Nigeria. Neo-colonialism wears many masks: aid packages that bind us in debt, military alliances that serve foreign agendas, even democratic interventions that install compliant leaders, he said, his tone laced with defiance. In the context of Tinubu's presence, this felt like a gauntlet thrown. Is the Nigerian president here to counter this very ideology, perhaps with offers of cooperation that mask reassertion of influence? Reactions in the room were telling: applause from AES hardliners, stony silence from others, and a visible shift in posture from Tinubu's team, who exchanged glances that screamed strategy sessions to come. Social media erupted in real time, with #NNeocolonialism trending across West Africa. But so too did counter-narratives warning of economic suicide. Traore's vision is bold, but is it a death knell? Posted a Burkinabe economist on X, their thread dissecting the risks. Inflation spikes, technology gaps without foreign expertise, and the specter of isolation if allies like Russia fail to fill the void. As the speech's echoes fade into evening discussions, the AES teeters on this precipice, Traore's insistence fueling a vortex of what-ifs. Will nationalization unify the alliance against common foes, or fracture it under the weight of uneven implementation? How will Tinubu respond? Diplomatically, or with veiled threats that could escalate to border tensions? The mining sector, a lifeline for Burkina Faso's GDP, now looms as a battleground, with communities caught in the crossfire. Artisanal miners hopeful for fair shares, but fearful of chaos. Foreign workers packing bags amid rumors of evacuations. The air in Niamey grows heavier by the hour, pregnant with possibilities of empowerment or peril, as Traore's words propel the summit into uncharted, treacherous waters. As Captain Ibrahim Traore stepped down from the podium, the chamber buzzed with a mix of exhilaration and dread, his unapologetic call to arms against neocolonialism lingering like smoke from a battlefield. The Burkinabe leader's vision extended beyond mere rhetoric, plunging into the gritty details of implementation. Auditing foreign contracts, mobilizing local expertise to manage extraction technologies, and redirecting revenues toward education, healthcare, and infrastructure. Sectors starved under decades of external dominance. Our mines will fund schools, not yachts in Monaco, he had quipped, drawing scattered applause but also uneasy shifts from those aware of the logistical nightmares ahead. Without foreign capital and know-how, could Burkina Faso's artisanal mining communities, numbering in the hundreds of thousands, adapt, or would they descend into lawlessness, with illegal operations filling the vacuum? Traore brushed aside such concerns, insisting on people's cooperatives to empower locals, but skeptics in the room muttered about the risks. Supply chain breakdowns, black market booms, and the allure of smuggling routes that could enrich jihadist groups already preying on the Sahel's instability. The speech's ripple effects were immediate and visceral, fracturing the summit's facade of solidarity. Mali's Colonel Assimi Goïta, ever the pragmatist, nodded in agreement but later in private huddles reportedly voiced reservations about the pace. Nationalization in Mali's vast gold fields could alienate Russian partners who've stepped in post-French withdrawal, potentially straining the AES's delicate web of alliances. Niger's General Abdourahmane Tiani, hosting the event, attempted to steer discussions back to collective defense, but Traore's fervor had ignited side debates. Whispers of copycat policies spreading to Niger's uranium mines, critical for global nuclear energy, or Mali's lithium deposits eyed by electric vehicle giants. And looming over it all, President Tinubu's enigmatic silence. Did his subtle head tilt signal approval, amusement, or calculation? Nigerian delegates were seen scribbling notes furiously, fueling fears that Abuja might exploit these bold declarations to portray the AES as economically reckless, justifying further ECOWAS isolation or even covert interventions. Deeper still, Traore's anti-neo-colonial stance unearthed buried tensions within the alliance itself. Burkina Faso's push for rapid nationalization highlights disparities. While Ouagadougou's gold boom offers leverage, Niger grapples with debt from uranium deals, and Mali contends with ongoing insurgencies that demand immediate military funding over long-term economic overhauls. This could be the AES's make or break, confided an insider from the Nigerian delegation, their face etched with worry. Traore's fire inspires, but without unity, it's just sparks in dry grass, ready to ignite wildfires we can't control. International observers, monitoring from afar, amplified the angst. EU envoys in Brussels fretted over disrupted rare earth supplies. US State Department memos circulated warnings of resource nationalism, empowering authoritarian patrons like Moscow, and African Union officials scrambled to mediate, fearing a broader schism that could unravel West Africa's fragile peace architectures. As the summit drew to its uneasy close without a unified declaration, only vague commitments to explore shared economic strategies, the weight of unresolved questions pressed down like the Sahelian sun. Tinubu departed with a cryptic wave, his motorcade vanishing into the dusk, leaving behind a trail of speculation, alliance or ambush. Traore's words, meanwhile, echoed in the minds of delegates packing their briefcases, a rallying cry that could galvanize the AES into a formidable anti-imperial bloc or splinter it into isolated fiefdoms vulnerable to external predation. For now, the Sahel holds its breath, the future a hazy mirage of promise and peril, as the world wonders what dawn will bring to this powder keg of a region.